Welcome to Card Players The Circuit, hosted by your favorite set, Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok.
That's right, everyone. You are listening to Card Players radio program, The Circuit. We are broadcasting on Sports Byline Radio on Sirius Channel 122, on cardplayer.com, and on the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok here for you to talk some poker on the eve of the main event of the World Series of Poker. But we are still at Bellagio, boys and girls, in Las Vegas, and right now going on around us, the Bellagio Cup 2. Main event of this one is August 7th, a $10,000 buy-in. Up until then, a bunch of 1K events. Come on down, check it out. It looks like they're running smoothly, and the prize pools have been ginormous for a $1,000 event. $125,000 for first a couple times. Seem to be pretty good events.
Ginorflian.
But don't think there won't be any landmines. Michael the Grinder Mizrachi was waiting by the other night to play. We got a great show for everybody today. We have our hand of the day. We have Poker Talk with Big G and the Baby Kangaroo, your phone calls, your emails, and reigning world champion Joe Hachem on the show on the eve of the main event. Are you guys pumped or what?
Absolutely. This
Pumped.
is exciting.
You know, I didn't celebrate Christmas growing up, but I have to imagine this is what Christmas Eve felt like.
Yeah, it's exciting. Everyone is so fired up. I heard that there's already like 7,200 people registered.
I heard.
Wow.
I heard they have on the internet a site where you can actually look at where in the world Joe Hachem is all through the night.
It's like where in the world's Carmen Sandiego? Oh, joke. Which I have to interject again, as we're bringing Joe onto the show. I never said that he wasn't going to do anything in poker, so I want to send that out before we bring the nice, kind man in. It's all a lie. I never said that.
Maybe you said Joe Stapleton.
I may
no one really knows what that means, but you may have said
Joe Sebok. He hasn't been doing a hell of a lot recently.
It may have been. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't, but it may have been. Either way, we're pretty excited, and we got to give a big up to Gavin Smith for getting Joe down here on the eve of the World Series, which I'm going to keep saying because I think it speaks volumes about the program, boys. We can get Joe Hachem on the show the night before the main event. Anyhow, I'm going to try this again. A day off. Am I right this time? Today you guys had a day off for the main event, is that right?
I haven't done anything today.
Well, yeah.
There you go.
and by having a day off, it means that I had a day of pain and humiliation, more so than anything.
Yeah, tell us about your day, Joe.
I woke up at the ripe hour of 11 o'clock this morning, and I was meeting with the ESPN people to cruise down to check out, how do I put this, wardrobes. We went to look at wardrobes that just happened to come with utility belts and logos on the chest, typically. So I actually went superhero shopping with them and tried on some interesting costumes. It should be fun. And by fun, I mean it should be painful and much like hell.
Oh, it will be fun, just not for you.
Yeah, it'll be fun for the rest of the world. It just won't be fun.
I'm very excited for it.
So yeah, it was fun. We went and tried a bunch of stuff, and it'll actually be a good time. I think it's gonna be fun when all's said and done.
Have you guys divulged what are the costumes so far that the public can know about?
Well,
that you'll be wearing?
I can say what I tried on. I'll just say it.
Yeah, tell us what you tried on.
Well, as it has been publicized, Gavin is putting me in a bear cub outfit
with a diaper.
With a diaper for the first day. Which is the first day that I'm playing, correct? That's what you mean by the first day. You want me to play in that? Okay.
Yes, I want you to play.
So that's going to be day 2. We picked up a very nice Joker outfit.
That one is, I love that one.
The foil Orval check raises.
Right. Yeah. You check raise me? Yeah. We also looked at a Batman one, a Robin outfit. We've got a wonderful Wonder Woman outfit, which is going to be slam bang terrific when I have to wear that one.
What about the? It's gonna be Slamastica.
It's gonna be Slamastica.
What about the bet? Or I don't know if it's a bet exactly. What about the challenge to have it sprayed on that Chris Bell mentioned? Is there any chance we might see that? Because you can still wear, as he said, you can wear the skivvies, and then they'll just spray the rest of the costume.
I've still said that if people want to put up some money, I will be happy to do it. But you're not going to be spray painting this body for cheap, so you're going to have to dig deep. But I'm happy to do it if people want to come up with some cash.
How much is a fair amount to have you spray
paint and play in it?
Yeah,
it's gonna have to be like 10 grand, 10 or 15 grand.
I mean, that's not really worth it. But what do you think, Gavin?
I think it'd be very funny.
The twinkle in your eye right now could, like, I don't know, blind a guy with sunglasses on. You look so excited that main event. You look so excited for Joe to be dressed as a superhero. It's kind of hard to describe. The joy is very Christmas Eve-like.
Oh yeah, it is for all of us. Very Christmas Eve-like.
You know you're a little
Except
bit
for some of us are getting coal in our stock.
Deep down, you may or may not like the attention of being in the Joker. I mean, if you bust someone, it's going to be amazing.
I will say the Joker costume is pretty unbelievable. The Joker costume is pretty cool. It's my favorite so far.
And I think it was Schronk that pointed this out, and I'm not positive, but that it would be pretty hilarious if you end up at the table with this monkey that PokerShare is putting in, and the Joker busts a monkey, or vice versa. That could be enormous.
Yeah, it could be funny.
That could be the biggest story of the entire World Series.
I just really don't want it to detract from my play. You know, I don't want it to become such a silly thing that it ends up causing me to make a bad decision. Or
bet you get more action.
I might get more action because let's be honest, when Wonder Woman check raises you ain't going out like a bitch. No. I mean, you're putting your money in there.
I think you are going to get more action. I really do.
All right, we'll see.
You don't think you will? You don't think it'll make any difference? He's going to be dressed like a complete idiot. He's going to get more action.
Gavin can't. He's laughing so hard he can't even speak. He can't get any words out.
I don't. The joy. It's a lockjaw induced by joy.
Is this the happiest you've been since you won the Mirage event? Honestly.
No.
I'm on the way.
Do we get to hear the story of what you were? Then what did you make? What did make you the happiest?
I don't know. Like lots of different things.
He's just a happy guy.
Gavin Smith, radio personality extraordinaire.
Now it's time for some World Series of Poker news. World Series of Poker news. It's Slamastica. The $5,000 deuce to 7 low ball event ended last night with Daniel Alayi taking down the win, $430,698 for Daniel. Second place was David Williams in that event. What about Daniel Alayi, real quick? I know we kind of put the kibosh on talking about players on the show or the particular segment, but I'd still like to hear. Daniel's a guy you see on high stakes poker. You know he's a high stakes side game player. Obviously, a pretty decent tournament player as well. What do we know about Daniel's game?
I just think he's obviously great at all no limit games because he just won the deuce too. But I mean, he's a fantastic no limit hold'em player. I mean, I don't ever like him at my table.
Do you think he's I haven't played with him very much. Do you think he's more of a conservative player, or is he more? Because he seems like a conservative player, but that doesn't mean that he is a conservative player.
He gets in there and mixes it up. You got to play with him for like 3 minutes at the Tunica tournament that I knocked your ass out.
Yeah, really. Yeah, but it's it's hard to remember. It's all a blur. It was only like 3 or 4 minutes. And what's the lesson at home? Don't flop a set of queens against Gavin.
And
not if there's a flush draw.
Not if there's a flush draw, because he's going to hit it. even if he has 2 clubs and there's 2 hearts on the board, somehow he's going to find a way.
Well, Sebok Stradamus was correct in the $1,000 stud 8 or better. Patrick Poles won. Jeff Madsen did not. $172,091 for Patrick Poles. Third place was Jeff Madsen, bringing his total World Series of Poker cash to over $1.4 million. And I spoke with him on the phone today. He will be on the program in the near future to talk about his 3 races.
I think we should nickname him the Beast.
The Beast?
Is that a
beast? He looks like such a nice, cute little kid, though.
He's mild-mannered, but we call him the Beast. It's kind of like, calling a fat guy tiny.
True.
I like it. The stunning one, Bill Edler, took 5th place in that event.
Yeah.
Congratulations, friend of the circuit, Bill Edler. We'll have to have him on as well sometime. $1,500 limit shootout winner, Victoriano Purchase, $157,338. Second place, Arnold Spee.
And now it's time for Poker Talk with Big G and the Baby Kangaroo.
Whose voice is that anyway? Who recorded that?
It's Danny's.
No,
are we supposed to divulge that, Danny?
Poker Talk.
No, he doesn't care. Yes, that was.
I'm the Baby Kangaroo.
The Baby Kangaroo. It was so funny when I was a kid, because of course when you study animals and marsupials and things, and then you find out that a kangaroo is.
I have no idea
what's
a marsupial.
It's like a kangaroo or a koala.
It's like with
bear.
a pouch. It's like an animal with a pouch. But then you find out that baby kangaroos are called Joeys. So of course it was like the joke for at least a month in my 5th grade class. Oh, Joey, baby kangaroo, blah blah. Side note, go ahead. Go.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to know that our humor is on the level of 5th graders. That's pretty much where I put us. Anyway.
I'll be honest with you. Until right this minute, I did not know why you called Joe baby kangaroo.
Wow,
you just thought you made that up.
Be honest.
It's a synonym if you know what that means. He's just laughing. That's it. That's all we can get.
Gavin just thought that it's because I jump around a lot and I have a lot of energy, huh?
All right, today we're going to talk about trap hands in No Limit Hold'em. What are trap hands? Give us some examples of No Limit Hold'em trap hands and what exactly it means.
Hands that you're trying to trap your opponents with, or hands that you get trapped with?
Well, I think trap hands are generally
ones that we're trying to trap
exactly.
with. Well, there's a couple ways to look at it, because certain hands are kind of like, you can, in a sense, you could think of playing small pairs as trap hands, because really what you're trying to do is flop a set. Very rarely you're going to run 2 3s through on a board. But, once you flop that set, then it kind of becomes that trap hand, because if somebody's got an overpair, it can be really, really tough to get away from it. So there's that kind of trap hand, and then there's a kind of trap hand, that maybe you hit on the flop. So it kind of depends on how you want to look at it, and which kind of trap hands you want to talk about.
Well, I was also under the impression that there were certain hands that were considered trap hands and no limit that meant they're hands that you play that will end up trapping yourself, such as hands like King Jack can be trap hands and no limit. You hit a pair, you don't really know what to do with it. They can be trap hands as well. I thought that was the traditional meaning of a trap hand.
Well, a trap hand for yourself, any hand, an ace 10, one of these queen jack. If you don't hit it really solidly, basically it can become a trap hand when you just hit one of those pairs, and then you're not sure what to do with it. Obviously, you flop two pair, you flop something like that, then it's much less of a dangerous hand for you. But yeah, anything like that. Any of these jack, even if you, sometimes you play out of the blinds, you'll have a hand like King 7. That's a dangerous hand to play, because if you hit your king, if you get any kind of action, it's really hard to tell if it's good. If you hit your 7, that's completely susceptible to somebody hitting something else or drawing out on you. So you really have to be aware of the hands that you play that can kill you, and make sure that you're playing other hands so you can trap other people. And that's exactly why you play hands like ace king, because you want to hit that ace when somebody else has ace jack, and then get them locked in the hand and they can't get away.
Gavin Smith, you seem to go by the doctrine of play trap hands, just turn them into winners.
I just play all hands.
All hands.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't know.
Are there any hands you consider trap hands? Are there any hands that in certain positions you just flat out won't play because of the fact that they can make you go pro?
I don't think there's a hand that you can actually call a trap hand. You're just looking for trap situations where you make big hands and you can have your opponents have second best hands,
Well, those hands that often make second best hands and no limit, I'm saying, though, that I've always, at least in poker books, which I know you've never really read any, other than Super System 1, even though you want people to buy Super System 2, that there's hands that that players play, they think are going to, I saw a guy go broke the other day on one of the events over at the Rio, and he had King Jack, and he hit top pair with the Jack, and he had the King kicker, and the other guy had Ace Jack, and that was it. It was good night, and it was early on in the tournament. Those kinds of hands.
Very susceptible.
But it seems like you play any hand. Any 2 cards really. Are there hands though that in particular you don't play because you're liable to make second best hands with them?
Well, yeah, but again, it arises in situations. Okay, I play Queen 10 every time I get dealt it and I'm first in the pot. I almost never call a raise with Queen 10. Unless I'm going to have position on it and I think I can outplay somebody. But it's just the situation that arises. Every hand can be a trap hand if you give them the right set of circumstances.
Right, and what he's saying is you can trap yourself with anything, and someone can trap you with anything. So you just have to be aware. Just make sure you're aware of the hands you're playing. If your kicker could be bad, we could pick a hand like Ace 8. If you flop an ace with that 8, you flop that 8 as well, suddenly you have a trap hand. And you're going to trap the guy who has ace king. You're going to trap the guy who has ace queen. But if you don't hit that kicker, suddenly you are in the trap. You're like, shit, I've got the top pair. If you don't have a lot of experience, you're not going to be able to get away from that hand. So just be very aware of the hands you're playing.
I think that the best way to define a trap hand is a hand that's going to make you have a difficult decision.
Or force someone else to have a difficult decision. One of the two, right?
Like you might have 2 9s and there's a jack high flop. Well, now you're going to have a difficult decision in this hand, and you're going to have to be able to read the situation correctly, or else you're going to get.
Well, that's like you just read my mind, because now our hand of the day.
Nice hand, sir.
Is a very similar situation to the one you just described. Phil Locke bets out 3,600, and one of the shortest stacks of the table moved all in for 4,800 total. This was pre-flop. Seat 2 also made the call of 4,800. The flop came Jack 5-5. Locke bet out 6,000. That was Jack 5-5 rainbow. And Seat 2 min raised to 12,000. Locke pushed all in for 21,000 more. Seat 2 called and showed pocket 8s, but Locke flipped over 2 aces. The board came 7 deuce on the end, and Locke won the hand, moved up to 79,800 and chip leader in the event. Talk about this hand a little bit, especially the min raise on the flop. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, the min raise on the flop, it achieved what this guy wanted it to achieve. It let Phil know that. It let him know that Phil had a hand that would very likely beat 8s. It's a difficult move to make with no pair if you're Phil, to just shove in on the guy. So I think.
But he still called.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
His min raise did what it should have done. He let him know that his hand was no good, but then he called anyways.
Right.
So if he wants to do the min raise and then dump the hand, then that's a good way to play it, I guess. But
it's kind of stupid to do the min raise, have him come over the top and say, have a better hand, and then say, I'm going to call anyway.
Like by doing the min raise, Phil will likely fold like an ace queen or an ace king or a pair less than 8s. But a hand that you're beating that you don't really want him to go on, he'll probably fold. but he'll raise you with a hand that's beating you.
Right.
And guy got the info and chose not to use it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's basically that. I mean, I'm not a big proponent of min raises ever because I think it gives your hand away. I mean, I think this guy, even if he had nothing, maybe he would have chosen to come over the top. This time he actually had 2 8s, which was a decent hand for that flop. But I don't like to let people know what I have with my betting patterns. So, usually I'm going to raise the same amounts I would normally and then make my decision. But that's just me. I don't use minimum raises that much.
Well, there it was. That was your 2 8s, then the jack high flop, the tough decision. Right. Although it seemed like exactly what you said. He made he got the information he needed and didn't use it. Use it next time, buddy.
Well, and also, let's look. So Phil raised, someone else moved in, and then the 2 8s called.
That's correct.
Let's talk about that
right after the break. We will, right here on the circuit.
I'm Chris Ferguson, and I've got a question. You've got pocket tens. How should you play them? Now imagine you're sitting across from me. Does this change your decision? Learning from the best changes the way you play. It makes you better, smarter, more consistent. It's what sets Full Tilt Poker apart from other online poker sites. Full Tilt Poker was designed by the world's best poker pros, including players like me, Phil Ivey, Howard Lederer, and Jennifer Harmon. So when you're ready to take your game to the next level, come learn, chat, and play with the pros at FullTiltPoker.com.
Welcome back to the circuit, everyone. Scott Huff, Joe Sebok, and Gavin Smith here at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. We're talking hand of the day. Continue. You don't like the pre-flop call now that we're kind of going backwards.
Well,
here.
Unfortunately, we don't have the chip totals. We do know that Phil had about 80,000 after the hand, so he's certainly, the guy can't have had more than 35 or 40 at the beginning of the hand. So to call 5,000, which at that point is about an eighth of your stack, or seventh or an eighth of your stack, to me is way too much with 2 8s. Especially with the aggression, the raise, somebody moves in, that's just a hand that you dump. I mean, it's
but the move in doesn't necessarily give you that much info.
Oh, no, of course.
The move in, the guy's getting short. He's only got 4,800. He's just looking to find a hand to play.
Right, of course. But he's got a hand, then he got raised. It's just, it's so likely. I mean, best case scenario, you're against 2 overcards, Maybe 2 overcards from 2 people, one of which you can't bet out of the pot.
Right.
So I don't really like it unless
you
he
also have the
chips.
incentive of having the all-in guy, and if Phil has overcards, he's unlikely to bluff into the dry side pot. So,
right.
I mean, I don't mind if he's got 35,000. I don't mind the call with 8s. If he's got like 20,000, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just an issue of how much chance you're willing to take. I just don't like to call off my chips, that much of my chips in that particular spot. But Gavin lives on the wild side.
Sure does. All right, we have some emails here and then a phone call. This email says, "Hi guys, you guys are my new morning coffee addiction. I come into work and listen to the circuit every morning and don't get any work done until lunch. I have a personal question for all of you guys. I want you to dig into your pockets on the show on Thursday/Friday, and I just want to know how much money you guys walk around with. Let me guess." So his guess is, how much money do you have in your wallet right now, Gavin?
I'm not going to answer the question.
No?
That's a ridiculous question to answer on the air. I mean, you're getting people right now getting robbed in the parking lot of Harrah's. I mean, you want me to tell yeah, I got $1 million on me or something like that.
His guess was that you actually had $10, but way more in your, quote, other pants. So Gavin has $10 and way more in his other pants. Joe?
Well, I need to have solidarity if my brother over here is not willing to participate.
$380 was his guess for you. Not going to find out.
I have more. I think I have more than $380.
He thinks I have $233.50 in my wallet, and he is way over.
I bet the under.
Exactly. I'm going to definitely take the under.
I believe I have 0. Wait, no.
That's not a lot.
I have $21. I have $21 on me right now, so no one will be robbing me.
There's some rob protection.
There you go.
Yeah.
I will not be getting robbed today. All right, we also have this from our forum.
The burglars might rob you and give you $10.
Oh, you poor bastard! Take this 10 spot.
My goodness, take it, God.
That would be serious pain if somebody robbed you and was like, "Dude,
that'd be amazing.
You got nothing. Let me give you a 20."
I just robbed this other guy, and he didn't have much either, but he had more than you. Well, here was some questions that need answering. This was posted in our forum, and you can get in touch with us via the forum at www.cardplayer.com. Go to forums and search for The Circuit with Joe Sebok and Gavin Smith. Is Gavin any closer to a Polish Christmas? Not that my opinion really matters, but it seemed like Sabina and Gavin may have clicked a little. Are you closer to a Polish Christmas?
Sabina and I are actually very good friends. So I don't think that I will have I don't think I'll have a Polish Christmas because Sabina's in a very happy
Just
relationship.
like the ones I used to know.
Number 2 was I posted this question in another thread, but I'll write it again here. On an episode of High Stakes Poker, Gavin showed up behind Mike Matasso with a very attractive girl. Who was the girl? Do you remember this?
Yeah, that was...
Not going to say?
It was a girl that I was seeing at the time, but I'm not anymore.
Okay, number 3. Is there a photo of Huff's girlfriend? Haha, I remember Matasso saying she's hot. Yeah, there's photos of her. They've been taken.
Down.
Sure. There's photos that exist. Are you getting one? No. I've asked this one before too. On the show with Mike Grotz, there was supposed to be a $100 heads-up match between Sebok and Huff. Did it happen? Who won? The answer is no.
It has not happened yet. We have played a few heads up. We weren't drunk, were we? Oh, we were drunk all the time.
Semi-drunk for
Yeah, we screwed around. I think it's 2-2 right now.
2-2.
We haven't actually
Lifetime.
had.
So maybe it should be the rubber match. Should be
It could be the rubber. Yeah, it could be the rubber match.
And then it says, "What's up with Sebok wearing the full tilt hat through the series? Is there some prop bet or something?" I get the impression from a video clip that there is, but I haven't heard more.
Yeah, it's a prop bet call that they're paying me. I know. Yeah, I'm a member.
Quite a bet.
I'm a member of Team Full Tilt during the World Series. I'm not sure what's going to happen beyond that, but no prop bet on that one.
And did Mike the Mouth ever take care of his dinner bets he lost to Huff? The answer is no. He did not. Thank you for that, Hollywood. And now it is time for our phone call, Danny.
What's up, boys? Joey from Wareham, Mass. here calling again.
Joey.
Just wanted to ask a couple quick questions. First, what do you guys know at ESPN? Because last night's coverage of the World Series had Mend the Master perfectly set up with the night answer and everything. So I got to know what's going on there. Second, what do you think Jeff Madsen's chances are at the main event? I mean, he's not even listed on Fantasy Poker at Full Tilt, either that or I didn't see him when I was looking today. And third, Gavin, I missed the auction from forpainting.com on your jersey, so I'm wondering what I got to do to get an autographed photo of maybe you and the Cub and the Cooler. I reset the old nickname there. So if you guys can just let me know, that'd be great. Thanks a lot.
Right on.
3-part question from Joey and Wareham.
Well, I think ESPN just realizes that nice answer is pretty damn funny. So they jumped into the circuit crew, and now they're following our footsteps.
What was part 2? Oh, Jeff Madsen's chances in the main event.
Oh, they're low, like anyone else. No one has.
But he's running real good.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's running well, but it doesn't. It's so impossible to set good odds on anybody. It's no disrespect to Jeff. Obviously, he's gone completely mental this World Series. He's a beast. But nobody has good odds. I mean, it's just the way it goes.
You wouldn't bet a large amount against him, but you couldn't bet a large amount on him.
I'd bet a large
either.
amount again. I'd bet. Give me any one individual person, I'll bet you $1 million they won't win the main event. No, immediately, no question.
Autograph picture? I don't know. Should we get his address and send him one?
Yeah,
he is Joey in Wareham.
Sure.
All right, Joey, call back in. Leave us your address. We'll do it. Right after this, we have the reigning world champion, Joe Hachem, on the circuit.
Hi, this is Stephanie Larimore, Playboy Playmate, Miss June 2006. Do you want to play naked with me? Naked poker, that is. Log on to nakedpoker.com and you will automatically be entered into a free tournament where the winner takes me, Stephanie Larimore, Miss June 2006, Playboy Playmate, out on a private date. Log on to nakedpoker.com now to enter and win. I love playing naked. Naked poker, that is.
This is Freddie Deeb, and you listen to The Circuit.
Welcome back to the circuit, everyone. We are broadcasting on Sports Byline Radio on Sirius Channel 122, on cardplayer.com, and on the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok. Our guest today is the reigning World Series of Poker champion. He's already made 2 final tables in this year's World Series, cashing for $356,000. A return guest to the circuit studio, Joe Hachem. How's it going?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me.
It is amazing to have you on here, as we've mentioned many times already on the show, on the eve of the day 1A of the main event. Has it been a hectic week?
Hectic month.
Hectic year, probably.
Hectic year, yeah, exactly. It's a hectic year topped off by a hectic month, and it's quite exciting at the moment. There's a big buzz. You can feel the buzz. Everybody's, the expo's happening. Everybody's here. Actually, I'm getting a bit of a laugh watching all the pros walk around and their shoulders are touching the earlobes because of the stress of the main event coming up. I think I'm probably one of the more relaxed guys walking around at the moment.
Why do you think why are you relaxed? Why are you loose?
I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of like my style anyway. Like last year, throughout the whole main event, if you looked at me, I looked like I was going for a walk in the park. I probably would say, because I've had a good series so far, that's helped. Had I not, I would probably be feeling a lot more pressure than what I'm feeling at the moment.
We'll talk about the series so far. You had a runner-up. You've made, as we mentioned in the intro, 2 final tables. Just talk a little bit about the experience of coming back out here, and you're the defending champ, and what it's been like.
It took me probably a full 6 months to be comfortable in my own skin as to who I was now. After winning the World Series, it took that long. I think last time I was on the show with you in January, I was probably just beginning to be comfortable in. I'm Joe Hachem, the world champ, blah, 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 Walking back into the Rio for the first day, I think it was June 22nd or whenever it was, I felt like I was coming back home. I just felt relaxed and easy about it from the start. And that has really helped me. Whenever you feel comfortable and relaxed, it has to be a positive for you,
Would you say that it is met or beat or just sort of on par with your expectations for yourself for the World Series so far up into the main event?
It's almost on par with what I wanted so far. I wanted a couple of final tables and a bracelet. I had a couple of shots at a bracelet, so I was at the final table, and I probably would have made a third final table in the pot limit Hold'em. I came 14th in that. Had I not overplayed my pair of 5s and had a brain explosion at the time. So
how did that hand go? Can you walk us through it?
We're 14 to go, and I know better. I've got like 90,000 in chips. The blinds would have been maybe 816 or something, or 8,000. No, that's not right. 2,000, 4,000. No, more than that. More than that. They must have been like 6,000. Yeah, because I had 90,000. I raised. I shouldn't have even been in the hand with a pair of 5s at that stage. I know I'm going to make the final table because these guys are going to blow themselves up. The difference with pot limit is a lot of the people don't even know how to play it. So especially at the late stages, they play it like no limit. Mm-hmm. And I have no business being in there with a pair of 5s. I raised it up. Guy moved all in quickly, and it was like double my raise.
Well, at that point, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
It's impossible to fold it at that point.
Absolutely. But I don't have to be in the hand.
Right.
That
you probably shouldn't have played it in the first.
That was a mistake. And if I don't make that play, there were a few other short stacks. I'm going to make the final table. I took that away. I took that, making that mistake. I really get dirty on myself when we all do when we make mistakes. And I brought it back to the second 2,500 pot limit Hold'em and made the final table on that. So.
Well, the final, I believe, was it the 6-handed no limit? You came in runner-up, and we had Dutch Boyd on the show who ended up winning the bracelet. This was his assessment of your heads-up play. I want you to respond to it.
So I think that one thing I think it was pretty interesting was Sean Rice came up to me during that tournament. And he said, of all the people here at the final table, expect Joe to play very, very, very solid ABC poker because he has a lot to prove. And this is going to be a televised tournament, and he doesn't want everyone in the world thinking he's a donkey.
Agree or disagree with that statement? What do you think of that assessment?
No, totally wrong. Totally wrong. I'm more aware of that earlier on in the tournament. When I've made it deep and I've got chips and I'm playing, I play my normal game. I almost block everything else out. Early in the tournament, especially in the first half of the year, and even now, I have to be honest, I'm very careful of what I play and how I play. Like, I can't make the mistakes the plays this donkey makes right next to me here, right? Right? He can laugh it off and walk away, but for me, it's criticised and analysed and, look at him, what bullshit. And I'd love to pull off the plays that he plays, but I can't get away with them because people are going to call me down much more often, even though my read is correct. But at the final table, no, that wasn't correct. Whoever thought of that assessment was incorrect.
And you speak about people and things being under a little bit of a microscope, your play being under a bit of a microscope. It seems like being the main event champ is now sort of like being Miss America. Not to equate you with a female counterpart, but I mean that is the female counterpart. It's sort of like you have to travel around. You give these. What has the last year been like for you? Starting way back when you came on the show the last time, and even a couple of months before, and up until now.
Sure. Firstly, that donkey I was talking about is Gavin Smith. So for people out there,
that hurts them, by the way.
People call him down too, by the way.
It's a loving expression, Gavin. You know that. I took on the role of world champion very seriously as being an ambassador for the sport and for the game, and I did maybe 300,000 miles over the last 12 months. Incredible the amount of miles that I did, and most of it wasn't even for playing poker. was just to be there and to, show my face and, give people a pat on the back or give an autograph or a photo and all that sort of stuff. And I think I've contributed to the growth of the game for the next year or for the next whatever. And
I'll tell you one thing. In both Moneymaker, then followed by Raymer, you had some pretty big shoes to fill in terms of people that did great things for the game of poker and were great ambassadors, and I think you did a tremendous job. And I think you've been a fantastic champion to have.
Thanks, Gavin. Thanks.
I actually have a quote here from an interview you did with Mike Sexton. He asked you, as world champion, what message would you like to send during your reign? And your response was, I hope to help with the journey that playing poker for a living can be respectable. My objective is to let the world know that an ordinary guy with a family can be a poker pro and not be considered a degenerate. So considering that was one of your goals, and you already sort of preface my question here by calling it a journey. It's something that's obviously still going to need to be worked on, but how do you think that you've contributed? Do you feel that you've done a good job of that?
I'm very happy with how the year has turned out. I'm proud of the way that I've handled it. As we all know, winning that sort of money, the main event bracelet and the fame that comes with it, the celebrity status. I'm just very fortunate that I'm grounded and I was able to handle it well. And I look back on the past 12 months and I feel how effing lucky I am to be in that position in the first place. Then I'm proud of myself for handling it. So,
what do you think about the state of poker, though, as far as that's concerned? Do you think people are starting to soften up to the two poker players? Do you think there is still a perception of the degenerate and not the person who's a family man? Greg's a family man, as we mentioned. Chris provides for his family. You do, it seems like.
Mate, quorum watchers are on board for the World Series. That's the first step. Milwaukee's Best has been with us for a little while, and they've now cemented as a full-on sponsor. Quorum watchers are on. I've heard rumours about Hershey's being involved in the World Series. That's just validating us so much, and people, the corporates are taking us seriously. I was telling you guys before we went on air that I was at the WSOP press conference.
Right.
It went for 2.5 hours. It was like a corporate function. It was so cool, That's where we are today, and I think it can only get better. I think we're at the moment we're all sitting here talking about this, but poker is becoming established as a respectable profession. The growth and the amazing numbers that we're getting. Maybe that's going to slow down and plateau over the next couple of years, which we expect it to, but the respectability factor is just getting stronger.
And in talking to you the other day when we were doing a video interview with you, you mentioned that you get to play less poker than before you were world champion. That probably seems surprising to some people. You get to play less poker, but again, it's that Miss America thing. Just having way too much fun with it. What about your game? Do you think has improved, and what do you think has deteriorated because of the fact that you have to? And how are you keeping your game sharp?
Obviously, when I get a chance, I play online. I log on to PokerStars.com and have a bit of a either a tournament or some cash games. But I think the way that I have had to change my game is in the early stages of a tournament. Whereas before, I would concentrate on building up chips earlier. I play much tighter in the early stages of the tournament.
Now you play tighter?
Yeah. Before, last year, I was unknown. Nobody here knew me. So even in Australia, my reputation in Australia was the ability to accumulate a lot of chips early in the tournament. Then I'd blow them off later on, like some other...
That's like me.
Yeah,
like some other donkeys.
Yeah, exactly. But I've had to adapt because I get called down. Even with big hands, I'll get 5 people calling raises and stuff like that. So my strategy has been to check call more than pinch, and it's worked. It's been working.
Well, it makes sense if people are going to try to take it away from you. Certainly, just let them try when you have a strong hand.
I want to give you guys an example of how bizarre things can get.
Please do.
In the 2,500 pot limit, which was the other day, on day one, I've limped in for $50 with a pair of 4s. The guy behind me limps. The guy behind him makes it 200, and the button calls. We see I call the raise, and the other guy calls raise. Flop comes 4-8 queen, no colour. I check. Everybody checks to the button who fires 450. I call, hoping for a raise from somewhere or something. Fold. So it's me and the button now. The turn brings a deuce. I bet 850 into the pot, and I have 1,050 left. The kid looks at me and he puts me all in. I call. I'll give you 3 guesses as to what his hand is. any 3 guesses.
It's got to be something sick like Ace Jack or something like that.
Absolutely. Give me 5.
It's got to be something disgusting.
The kid had no pair, no draw.
Nice job, Joe.
Yeah. Well, I could just tell by the way you phrased it. It had to be the most ridiculous possible hand.
I mean...
Well, Eric Seidel was telling us about a hand that you played in New Orleans where a guy ended up calling you with like a queen 3 or something pre-flop.
You were there?
Just because you were I think this was before I got to the table because I don't remember it.
Oh, I was under the gun.
You were trying to coax him into trying to bust you.
Yeah.
The blinds are 400, 800 with antes, and I've moved all in 5,200 under the gun with ace king.
Right.
This guy had all these chips, and he didn't know what to do with them. And he looked at me, and I said to him, I know you want to call. I know you want to go home and tell your friends a story that you busted me. Go on, do it. Fold. So he goes, I call. Fold. It turns out a queen 5 offsuit. With like 6 people left to act behind him.
Well, Joe's gone on record as saying he's not going to try to bluff in the early levels of this main event or even at all on day one. What do you, I mean, you obviously say you're already a bit handcuffed by who you are, but how are you feeling considering the field is already at, I heard the board said something like 7,200 down there?
It's officially 76.
Wow. 76. And they're still taking entrance, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be capped at 8. Is it still going to be capped at 8?
I think they're capping it at 88.
Right.
88. Yeah.
Wow.
It makes no difference. 56 or...
Right.
What's the difference, you know?
At some point, it's all the same. It could be 80 billion. It just takes longer.
From now on, it's going to make no difference.
Right.
Unless they can start fitting, 5,000 people in a room at once.
Right.
Then that's where the next difference is.
Well, a lot of people have brought up the possibility of just playing at different casinos, partnering up and then having, 5,000 people play, 5,000 people play here, 5,000 people. That way it can all get done, in a day or 2 days, rather than having to take, multiple day ones, multiple day twos, et cetera, et cetera.
I propose that they hold it in the Rose Bowl on one show, which I thought was a decent idea.
It's a pretty good plan considering Harris has as many properties as they have. They could have all 4 day ones, just have each day one in a different Harris property. But the problem would be with having dealers and floor staff.
Right.
It's just not enough people working that can handle that kind of volume.
So how do you feel about that assessment, though, of day one? I mean, you're really going to be tight considering the fact that there are 8,800 players, and you only have 9 at your table, but Joe was saying he's not trying to make any plays early.
I think basically what I was saying was that I have no intention of doing anything out of line because so many people that will be playing will be inexperienced and are just going to call you. I mean, if they flop that ace, they have ace 10 and that ace is up there, they're calling you. It just doesn't make any difference.
Mate, you're absolutely right. The people have so many people have such little experience, right? And the reality is that they're going to blow themselves up anyway. So why do I need to put myself out there to be blown up with them?
It's kind of like, why take a chance when you're going to get the chips?
Absolutely.
It's just going to take a little bit longer.
And it's going to take a little bit longer. And the blinds are going up, 100 minutes?
Joe Hachem.
I think it is 100 minutes, something like that.
What's that?
I'm going to bluff them.
Really? I'm surprised, man.
He's going to bluff them all.
I hope you get a table full of absolute amateurs and they just drive you crazy.
Yeah.
So how about expectations for the main event as far as your play is concerned? I mean, obviously, the only thing that would be an ultimate victory is to win the whole thing. But what's a win in your mind as far as defending your title? What's a respectable defense?
Oh, wow. Okay, let's pre-stage that. For me, poker starts on day 2, right? In this event. If I can get through day 1 with some chips, so I can play poker on day 2. Then my assessment from there, from day 2, I have to get really deep into the money, and that could mean as far as 27 upwards. Because once you're in that playing poker, because day 1 is not playing poker.
Mm-hmm.
Day 1 is survival. You've got to try and miss the bullets, dodge the mines, and accumulate chips at the same time. But once the chip stacks are a little bit bigger, and the blinds are moving up slowly, there's poker to be played. And that's when I'll assess myself as to, okay, how far am I going to be able to take this from here?
Have there been any creepy dreams or handshakes from cabbies recently? You had mentioned the other day that all these strange things were happening surrounding your win last year. What's going on leading up to it this year?
The creepy things that keep happening to me are people keep telling me that you're going to win again. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're crowding around you. People are actually telling you that you're going to win the whole thing again?
They're like, yeah, we're 100% sure you're going to win again.
If you win again this year and we go to the Borgata, you're buying the drink system.
Yeah, fair enough. I owe you at least that.
All right, I have an email question here from, and I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, Fee-Ko is the name, from Melbourne, Australia. It says, "G'day, Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, Joe Sebok, and Joe Hachem. Great show and keep up the great work. I have a question for Gavin, Joe, and Joe. With the booming popularity of 6 max games," and this is a great question for you because you made the final table there, 6 max games online, what are some adjustments you make to your game compared to a full ring, and what tips can you give for 6 max players, as there seem to be really no good books out there on it? And P.S. Gavin, any chance of seeing you down under for the Aussie Millions in January 07?
Absolutely. I'm going to go to that. I've been told from Mr. Hachem that it's a wonderful tournament and a great time and a lot of fun, and I'm going.
Oh, you didn't go last year?
No, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I thought
you did.
As far as the 6 max question goes, I mean, those tournaments are the shizzle. I love them.
The shizzle.
They're great. They're great. I guess the adjustment you really have to make is you just have to be more aggressive than you have to be in a full table. You know, your blinds are coming around that much quicker, and you have to look for opportunities to gamble wisely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to be more aggressive, but don't overdo it, because the 6-handed game still has, it still resembles a 10-handed game more than it does a heads-up game.
Well, I don't overdo it. I go from playing 78% of the hands to playing 83% of the hands.
Oh, just that extra 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more fun. What do you think, Joe? What do you think the main difference is?
I think a lot of people make the mistake that they have to play so much more aggressively.
Right.
They don't have to. They have to, jump it up a little bit. And depending on your table, but really, they should still be looking for the right, picking their opportunities and not just, jumping in there with any old thing. That, I see a lot of people who are inexperienced. Oh, short-handed, that means I've got to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're calling re-raises with ace-5 and moving all in with ace-3 and or king-jack and bullshit cards like that all they're going to do is get bust in the end,
Right. You don't have to take stupid chances.
Yeah.
You just, I think you put it perfectly. You just pick your spots. You don't have to play wildly aggressive. You just have to be more aware, I think, of when opportunities come around. And, basically you're just always starting in middle position. There is no, early position, so your starting hands are weakened a little, but not that much. Suddenly it's like Joe said, don't be coming in with ace-5s, when people are in front of you and things like that.
That's what I thought you were supposed to do up until right now. Maybe I'll have a little bit better. I was the guy who thought you were supposed to just raise any ace and move in on people with any ace because there's 4 less players at the table.
I raised almost any ace.
I can't listen. I can never play your style, Gavin. I don't have the poker
queen,
brain for
any
it.
Jack, any 9-8, any 4-5 suited.
Any hand.
The difference of opinion of what makes the circuit go round. All right, phone call for Joe right now. Danny, take it away.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from LA. I love the show, first off. And second off, this is a question for Joe Hachem. I wanted to know, during the 2005 telecast, Mark Faith said that when you won a big tournament, you actually started playing better. And I wanted to know if you felt like that was true. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for the call, Tyler. I think what happens is when you start playing in the major tournaments on a regular basis, your game must improve naturally. Because you're playing with the best players in the world on a regular basis. So your game improves naturally. And then you've got like I said earlier, now you have a target on your back, so you've got to adapt to that as well. So, yes, I agree with that comment.
What about you, Gavin? How did your game change after winning Mirage?
I got wilder. Yeah, I started raising more. I don't know. Winning a tournament, the one thing it does for you is it increases your confidence. And when you're more confident, you just play better. It's automatically. So, and now, that I've had fairly good results for over an extended period of time, like maybe like a year and a bit. I have a lot of I have a lot more confidence at the table than I had before May of last year, and because of that, people play worse against you and you play better against them.
Which day are you starting, Joe?
Day 1D.
Which is what day?
The fourth day.
The fourth day.
All right. Well, wish you the best of luck. Thanks a lot for coming by. We appreciate it. Oh, one other thing I wanted to know. What does Drew Barrymore look like in person? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
She's so hot.
Really?
She's... that 10-pound rule about being on TV and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It adds 40 pounds to her.
Really?
She is so slender. And very, very nice girl. She came across really sweet.
The reason I'm asking everyone out there is that she was part of the press conference that Joe mentioned earlier on in the interview. It's not just a random question that he would know. You've been canoodling with Drew Barrymore.
That's true.
We don't want to start anything on the message boards. Anyways, thanks a lot, Joe. Best of luck in the main event. We really appreciate you coming by.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys.
Good
Joe
luck
Hachem,
in the
everybody.
quest to repeat.
So Joe's always on his game. Another great interview, boys. Thanks, Gavin. Good job. Good work getting him here.
Oh, no problem, man. I'll produce the guests.
I wish him the best of luck, but I have to say I don't know that I could just run up to him and go, yeah, you're going to repeat in this 8,800 person field. What happened to capping it at 8,000?
Well, I don't know what happened.
They go 11-handed. They have 200 tables.
They're going to go 11-handed
I will
in the
kill
main
myself
event?
if we play 11.
They'll go 11-handed.
Wow,
and then,
really?
And then as soon as every table loses one, it won't be 11-handed for long.
Which will be in the first 10
it'll
minutes.
Be it'll take a couple hours to get down to 10-handed, and then.
Wow, 11-handed in the main event. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
You're not a fan of that at all.
Of course not. Of course not.
Those first 1,500s had the 11-handed play as well. I can't imagine.
It was horrendous.
I hate it when they do that, but. It'll be what it is. At least you'll have what? So now, is it going to be more than 10 million for first then? That's the real question.
No, I think they're capping it at 10 million for first. I believe if they have over 8,000, 27 millionaires will be made in this tournament.
Wow, 27 millionaires. 3 that are not. Right after this on the circuit. Ever dreamed of attending the Super Bowl? Or maybe your dream is to attend golf's The Masters. Or maybe you're even like Joe Sebok and would like to attend the Polar Penguin Sumo Championships. Whatever your dream sporting event is, Card Player would like to help you get there. If you subscribe now to Card Player Magazine at the new low price of $19.99, you'll be entered into our special World Series of Poker subscription contest for a trip for 2 to any sporting event anywhere in the world. Welcome back to the circuit, everyone. We are broadcasting on Sports Byline Radio on Sirius Channel 122, on cardplayer.com, and on the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Sebok here. Main event approaching.
Can we call Joe Sebok something different from now on for the next 10 or 12 days?
Whatever he is what I'll say.
You're call me by my formal name.
Let's call him Joe Lightning, superhero extraordinaire.
No, when he comes in, we should just call him by whatever he is for the day. Yeah. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and the
Batman.
Joker.
The Joker.
And Batman.
And
that's
the Joker.
Going to be. Throughout the main event, you can follow all of the coverage on cardplayer.com. We'll be working 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, even though it's impossible to bring you all of the best from this year's World Series of Poker. Each and every day of the World Series, Card Player will be working tirelessly to bring you chip counts, live updates, tournament news, and hand-by-hand action. If you've yet to check out the new site, check it out now, www.cardplayer.com. That will be slamming with content during the main event.
Slamming.
There will be all kinds of player profiles up there. We have videos of the guy you just heard from, actually, Joe Hachem. That'll be up there as well. All right, we'd like to thank our guest today, Joe Hachem. I would like to thank the two of you for another great week of friendship and circuitship. Thanks, guys. We will be back for you on Sunday, July 30th, with the live show, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Make sure to call in. The donk line will be wide open, 1-877-675-1306.
Oh, man. Do I have to dress in costume for the live show?
Yeah. That was a lot of whining, but you absolutely do.
Oh, shitballs. No, why?